Hello, I'm Dan. Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. Today, we are doing player ratings. But before we get into it, I need to make you all aware that today's video is sponsored by Match Bingo. And if you're looking for a fun and safe, responsible way to gamble on the football without needing to know all the stats, Match Bingo is the place to do it. They have turned bingo into events that happen in football. It's a great way to have a laugh with your friends whilst all watching the game together. No one has to spend a lot of money and the prizes are pretty good for how much you have to put on. If you put on £2, you can win up to £175. It's really good. So make sure to download the link in our description right now. Get it ready for the weekend. Chelsea got Brentford. What a game to try it on. Make sure you're gambling responsibly. Terms and conditions do apply, but the link is in our description. Make sure to download that right now. Chelsea were lucky last night. Pochettino scraped through. Chelsea scraped through. Conor Gallagher pulled Pochettino from his grave. We are very lucky that we're in the next round of the FA Cup, and we're even luckier with that draw, getting championship opposition again. But we need to get into the match ratings because all in all for me, wasn't that good. Really wasn't that good last night. We scored 3 goals as a team, which you can never moan about. But I wish we could have scored that on Sunday. But the but is there. We weren't good. Again, clueless from Pochettino. Very confusing. Not sure what he wants this team to do. Job security isn't probably the strongest it's been for him, and he played a pretty weak side. So without further ado, let's start off with the goalkeeper, because we saw the return of Sanchez, and wow, did I forget what he brought to a team. What a joke. Within minutes, he'd already played a pass to Disasi that put him in so much trouble that he had no options. And then within seconds of Disasi releasing the ball, Leeds had scored. What a joke. Honestly, Sanchez, 4 out of 10. Rubbish. Do not want him anywhere near the starting 11 whatsoever. I'm not even sure if he's cup keeper worthy. What a waste of money. Another ridiculous import from Brighton. Let's go to left back. We started with a 4. Alfie Gilchrist played left back for the majority of the game. Alfie's a very limited player. Didn't have the best game. Left back limits his game even more. I'm giving him a 5. I feel like Alfie's better on the right, but he's still quite limited. So, yeah, 5 out of 10 for me. He does give his all, which I love, which a lot of these Chelsea players don't seem to be doing at the moment. Moving into the back 2, we had Chalobah and Disasi. Chalobah on the left, Disasi on the right. Chalobah was quite interesting to see because we haven't seen much of him recently. I feel like I'm going to give Trevor a 6. I feel like he was okay. He put his foot on the ball, tried to play a little bit, but ultimately I felt like that was kind of like the Thiago Silva effect and it slowed things down a little bit. So that concerned me, but I'm going to give him a 6. I feel like as out of the game, defender-wise, Chalobah was probably the best. Disasi, mistake for the goal, not his best game. I'm giving him a 5. Not much else to be said. He's had better games in a Chelsea shirt. Gusto was quiet too, if I'm being honest with you. He's probably exhausted. So I'm going to give Gusto a 5 as well because I didn't see loads from Gusto last night. It was a pretty uneventful game for him. Moving into the midfield. This is where I think there's going to be some debate with a couple of Chelsea fans because I've heard people telling me that Enzo was really good last night, but I didn't see it. And I don't think, if we're being completely honest, under Pochettino, Enzo's been that great at all. I don't think it's too much his fault, although he's on the pitch and he can change things up. I think both of them just haven't got a good understanding of what each other wants, and it's not really working out. However, Enzo did get an assist, and the determination he showed that late on into the game is going to bump his rating up to a 7 for me. I feel like he got an assist, but the rest of his game wasn't that great. Caicedo had probably one of his better games, and I actually feel like I'm really starting to see what he offers. He was pressed a lot by Leeds, and I felt like he was very resistant. I feel like he does his simple things well, and now I'm starting to see him be confident in that and open up his locker and kind of show him what else he's got. But the press resistance is the strongest part of his game that I've seen the least of in a Chelsea shirt. And last night I got to see it. So I'm going to give him a 7 because actually I feel like he had an okay game last night. And I feel like I got to see something from him that I haven't seen enough of. Moving into the 10, we saw a change. Because Pochettino rotated, Mudryk got a start. Mudryk played in the 10 role, wasn't a winger. And for the first half, I'm going to give Mudryk an 8. I feel like he was unbelievable. He got on the end of passes in good spaces, was able to turn. Crossfield passes were really good, quick, effective. He was reading the game, reading where the spaces were to play the passes. He scored an outrageous goal. The finish is unbelievable. But then second half, Mudryk eventually moved out to the left wing, his favoured position, back to normal. Was awful. 5 out of 10. So I'm going to meet somewhere in the middle with Mudryk and give him a 7 as well. I feel like the first half really was one of the better performances I've seen from him, and maybe that's because he was against championship opposition. Look, I don't want to throw too much around, but maybe that's his level at the moment. I'm not saying he can't get better, but right now with the lack of confidence and lack of game time that he's had, that's where he's going to thrive. So maybe alone, who knows. Mudryk. Disappointing game for me. I feel like he has a high ceiling, but sometimes I'm just not seeing enough. However, there were times when he moved out to the left and he kept coming inside and getting on the ball a little bit deeper than normal, and he looked really creative. I'm going to give him a 6. I don't think he did enough to get to a 7. I don't think he really had enough impact going forward, which when he's in that position, that's what he's got to do. But some things to his game were better, or they were new to me. I've not seen him drop in and get on the ball a little bit deeper and start to try and create things. I've not seen that too much from Mudryk. Normally he's a very direct runner taking on a man. But I feel like he didn't have a lot of success against Firpo last night. So yeah, I'm giving him that rating. On the other side, we had Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling on the left wing for me is a no. It's just a no-go. I don't get why it keeps happening. I don't think he's had many good games off the left-hand side. I feel like most of his success is when he's on the right-hand side of the pitch. And actually, we saw him get an assist last night from the right-hand side of the pitch. And I've said it time and time again, I don't understand why he's playing off the left when we're not getting results from him playing there. Sterling for the assist, I'm going to give him a 7 because he got an assist. And I feel like that's important. But it wasn't a good game. There's a lot of arm waving, a lot of times when I feel like, look, I don't want to call him lazy, and I know a lot of Chelsea fans do, but sometimes I question how fit is Sterling? Like, why is he not tracking back sometimes? Why does he just stand around? What is he not concentrating? I don't know. I don't see how that ever happened in a Man City side under Pep. So why is it excusable at Chelsea? So a 7 for me. I don't think anyone really had a great game last night. And we move on to Jackson, who's another one of those players who didn't really have a great game last night. Yes, he scored, which is good. It's nice to see a striker scoring goals for Chelsea. I believe that's 10 goals in all comps. So he's into double figures. He is doing okay. A 1 in 3 striker is probably what we said he'd be. And I don't think anyone expected anything more than that. There's obviously a couple of hat-tricks. There's a hat-trick in there, that stat pads it a little bit, and some tap-ins for sure. But look, he's putting the ball in the back of the net, and yesterday was actually one of his better taken goals. It was a good finish. His hold-up play's okay. He's a bit weak, if I'm being honest with you, but Drogba was like that at first, a lot of time on the floor, and eventually that left his game and he became a real winner. So you never know with Jackson. It might just be early days. I feel like there are times when he holds onto the ball too long. There are times when I feel like he doesn't offer the hold-up that he should. And there are times when the decision is just not good. But at the moment, he's all we've got up front. And is he better on the left? Potentially. But I just think he's at his level. I don't think I'm going to see too much of an improvement from Jackson at the moment, especially not before the end of the season. I'm giving him a 7 as well. No one did enough last night to really impress me out of the starting 11, to be honest with you. And then we move to the players that came on as well. We saw Ben Chilwell come on at left back, obviously. An average game, didn't have too much impact on the game. I'm giving Ben a 6. I feel like he was okay. Nothing really to write home about for most of the subs, to be honest with you. We saw Levi Colwill come on at centre-back. Again, a 6. Didn't do too much wrong. Didn't have to do too much, to be honest with you. But Yeah, I'm giving him a 6. There's really not much to write home about from this performance. And the substitutes really, if I'm being honest, bar one, didn't have too much of an impact on the game. Cole Palmer as well, a 6. They did okay. You can see the difference in their quality compared to the other players that were on. But because they weren't on for that long, their rating's not getting bumped up. They didn't have much time to impact on the game. Jimmy Touranian made his Chelsea debut, a player who I'm not familiar with. Obviously, I know he's been on the bench a couple of times now, and then he managed to get on and get some minutes. Within the first few seconds, he put a Leeds player on the floor and left the foot and flattened him. Love to see that. So for him, I'm going to give him a 7. No, in all seriousness, look, I don't even know if he touched the ball, but I love to see that from a Chelsea academy player coming in, understanding what that game was about and straight in from the off. So look, I'll give him a 6. Why not? He wasn't on for as long as the other substitutes, but it's his debut, and I feel like that gives something for Chelsea fans to believe and get behind. A bit like what Alfie was like when he made his debut. They come in off the bat, very committed to the cause. I love to see it. The player I will give a rating to that I feel like he actually did change the game is Conor Gallagher. I feel like the energy he possesses and what he does for the rest of the team is he kind of brings them all up to a level. They go, oh, Conor's running, we should too. I feel like that's really important. Conor obviously managed to score as well, and it's true grit, determination, the fact that he wants his Chelsea side to win is the most important thing to him, and he managed to score. He's putting goals and assists up at the moment, which I like to see. It's good from Conor Gallagher, it really is. He missed that chance that he didn't really take at Wembley. He's gone and scored in the next game. I like to see that. He's in a good vein of form. I'll give Conor a 7 as well. Obviously wasn't on the pitch for too long, but probably Poch's better substitution and arguably one of his most reliable players this season. Look, it was a pretty poor game on Chelsea's side of things. No one really did much last night that was that impressive. That's why no one's getting above a 7. Disappointing, to be honest with you. Poch got lucky. We didn't really turn up. We've got no clear way of playing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you disagree with my ratings, let me know. And if you agree or you change something, then drop it in the comments. Like and subscribe as well if you're enjoying the content on Chelsea Fan TV. And I will catch you in the next one.